Hi everybody, welcome to Puddinwood Avenue. My name is Bindi. Let's see what today's project entails, shall we? So today's project is going to be a bookmark. This is a really quick and easy pattern and they work up really great. So we're going to use 100% cotton. This is cotton crochet cotton, got backwards already, 100% soft cotton. My aunt gave me a whole heap of these from left over from a craft project from one of her groups, so I'm not sure where they got them from, but it's 100% cotton. This is a 50 gram ball. I'm looking for, that's a needle size, so that is knitting. And this is what we're looking for, a 2.5 mil. It's recommending, but today we're actually going to use, see if I can get in focus, a 3 mil hook, nice little one. And we're going to need a pair of scissors for the end and also a needle to darn our ends in. So it starts off really easy. We're going to use blue to make this particular project, and we're going to start with a simple slip stitch. So make your slip stitch. Don't pull it too tight on your hook because we're going to need to work into this loop at the end of the first row. So we're going to start with a chain of 12. So chaining is really simple. In this particular pattern, there's chain stitch, double crochets, and we're actually going to use the double crochets to create split shells. And then the border is just going to be simple single crochet. If you're not sure on how to do any of those stitches, if you're just a beginner, I do have a playlist for beginners on showing you how to do all of the stitches. You may notice that I've set up a little bit differently here. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but I'm trying not to bump the tripod all the time. I'm trying to make sure I've got plenty of light. So can you please leave a comment below if this is better than the last tutorial I did? I'm not particularly happy with the lighting situation. I do live in a shed, so I don't have a lot of light in here. The last tutorial I did was also at getting on dark, so it was the lighting I wasn't happy with. So can you just let me know in the comments below whether this setup is working for you. Okay, so we've got our slip knot on our hook. We're going to do 12 crochets. So we just yarn over, pull it through the loop on our hook, and we're going to do 12 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there is our, what we're going to start with. That's our foundation row, that's our 12 crochet, chain. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to count backwards, and we're going to work into the 8th chain from the hook. Now the loop on the hook never counts as a stitch, so we're going to count this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to do a double crochet, and normally when I do this I go into just the top loop of my chain. I've found when I do this particular pattern though, I don't like the look of it, so I'm actually going to work under the 2 loops of that. So I've got my V stitch in there. The end row, the row looks much better at the end. So we've got our 8th stitch from the hook. We're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over into that stitch, capture our yarn, and we've got 3 loops on the hook. We're going to wrap our yarn over our hook and pull it through the first 2. Yarn over and pull it through the remaining 2 loops on our hook. So that is the first double crochet into that stitch. We're going to do 2 more of those into the same stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. So that's the first part of our split shell. We're going to chain 2 now. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to work 3 more double crochets into that same space, into the same stitch. So yarn over. This first row is a little fiddly, but it's okay. So 1, 2 and 3. And so that is our split shell in the middle. And you can see it's got a bit of a point on it. So this is going to be the pointy end and the top is going to be flat of the bookmark. And we're going to actually attach a little tassel to the end of this. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left in our chain stitch. And we're going to skip all 1, 2 and 3. And then that very first stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. So every row ends in a double crochet. I feel I'm not right with that. No, that's right. And we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Okay. Seriously, I doubt myself and I really shouldn't. Okay, so we've done our chain 3 and let's just back this up a little bit. So we've done our space, we've done our split shell, we've skipped 3 stitches and we have done a double crochet into this last stitch, which is completely correct. So we're now going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So every row ends in a double crochet and begins with a 3 chain. Okay, so we're going to turn our work and into our 2 chain space, we're going to do our split shell. So we're going to do 3 double crochets into the space. You know, I've started this video twice now because I got to that point and I went, that's not right, but it is. Believe in yourself, girl. Okay. Oh, now I've got my finger tied in knots. It's going to be one of those days, I think. I've been sucking on slices of lime from down the paddock because I've still got that cough in my throat. It's driving me insane. Okay, so we've done our 3 double crochets into that space. We're going to create the space for the next row. So that's 2 chain. And we're going to do 3 double crochets back into that same chain space. 1. Oh, goodness gracious me. One of those days, one of those days. Calm down. Get it right. 1, 2, and 3. And then into the top of that space, so this one here, we're going to do a double crochet into it. Okay, and so that is row 2. I told you a fib before. When we come across here, this will be the flat part, and when we get down to the end, to the point, that's where we'll put our tassel. So we're going to do, I think we'll go for 10, but I'll see what 10 looks like, and if not, might do 12. You can make this as long or as short as you want, because it just goes and goes and goes. So let's do the next one. So we've ended with a double crochet. Next row begins with 3 chain. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, and you're going to work the split shell into that chain 2 space. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. All right, so 3 double crochet into that chain space. So 1, 2, and 3. 2 chain, 1, 2, and 3 double crochet back into that same space. Once you get going with this, it really is quick and easy. 1, 2, and 3, and into the top of that 3rd stitch, 1, 2, and 3. This one here, we're going to double crochet. So that's row number 3. We're going to chain up 3 to start row number 4. turn your work, and we're going to do the split shell into that space. So 1, 2 and 3, chain 2 and 3 double crochet into that same space. 1, 2 and 3. So if you've watched before, you may have seen, and we're going to double crochet into the top of that space, the chain over here. If you've watched before, you'll know that I made a yellow and a green one of these, one for my daughter and one for my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, and I made them out of the same cotton, and they felt so different. It was really, really weird. But this cotton is actually quite stiff, which is great. It lies flat. You can iron it. On the label it says. You can wash by hand or gentle machine using cold water. Rinse well in cold water. Dry flat in the shade. Hot iron. So if you kind of want a stiff bookmark, right? I didn't like it to start with. The green that I used was definitely stiffer than the yellow, but because it was so stiff, it actually worked out really well. Okay, so I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to do 10 rows. So I'm going to do 6 more rows, and then we'll come back and we'll decide whether it's going to be long enough to put in a book or if we do a couple more rows. So just remember the next, to start a new row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, 3 double crochet, 2 chain, 3 double crochet into that space. Mr. Maynard's snoring over there. 1, 2, 3. 2 chain, 3 double crochet back into that same space. And double crochet into the top of your chain 3 from the previous row. Alright, so I'm going to leave you here and I'll come back once I've reached row 10. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows, and if you grab a book, you can measure it. So we're going to have a tassel hanging from here, and I think that's long enough. If you wanted to make it longer, you absolutely can. If you want to add another, say 2 rows to make it a little bit longer, if you wanted to do another 4 or 5 rows to make it 15, totally up to you, but I think I'm going to stop there. Okay, so this is what we're going to do now. We're going to slip stitch. So I just need to make sure I'm on screen. So we're going to slip stitch. I might see if I can zoom in a little bit closer. Okay. And what we're going to do is, so this is going to be our beginning and end point. So I'm going to now put 2 single crochets into each big space and 1 single crochet into the smaller spaces. So we're going to do 2 to start with. So we're going to go into the space, capture our yarn. So we've got 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull it through. That's a single crochet. So do another one in that space. And into the small gap there, I'm going to do 1. Oh, that's a double crochet. How about we do a single? You could do a double crochet, that would make it quite wide, but I really like single crochet for edging. So 2 into the big space. Just having a look where I need to get my hands. Okay, so 1 and 2, and there's a small space here, so after every 2 there should be another one in here somewhere. So find that stitch. I'm just going to make sure that our edge is nice and straight, and so we're going to go 2 into the big space, and 1 into the small space. So we're going to do that all the way up to the top, and you can see already that we now have a nice straight edge. That's a bit winky wonky in there, but it'll come good, I promise. Okay, so we've done 2, find this one here, and we'll go 2. I'll do this side with you until we get to the top so I can show you what to do in the corner. We'll go across the top, the second corner, and then I'll let you go down to the end, down to here, down to the point. My hands are off screen. Might just zoom back out to where I was so you can see me. Again, my camera is directly above me, but it's up there and I can't see exactly what it is. So I'm not sure if this, this particular setup is going to work or not. It's definitely easier for me to work here, but I'm not always 100% sure that I'm on the screen. So 2 into the big space, 1 into the small space, 2 into the big space. Tell you what, it is an absolutely glorious day outside, absolutely beautiful. The sun is shining, there's a nice breeze. Not sure if you can hear my wind chimes out there. It's an absolutely beautiful day. Mr. David's at work, poor bugger. Alright, so we're at the corner now. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to do 4 single crochets into the corner. Excuse me for a second. So we're going to do 4 into here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do 2 into this space here. 1, and move that tail out of the way. 2, and we're going to do 4 back into this corner here. This is good because you can start to work over the top of your tail. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now just give that tail a little bit of a tug to make sure that it's going to be nice and flat. Sorry. And we're going back to our pattern. So just tuck that tail over there, that's okay, we can weave that in. And we're going to do, so we've done our 4 in here, and we're going to do back our 1 into this space. Tuck that tail out of the way. 2 in the big space. So just work your way slow and steady down the side and get to the end. So if you want to pause here, you can, and catch up with me down the bottom, or you can work along with me as we go together. 1 into the small space, 2 into the big space, 1 into the small space. So again, once you get the hang of this, you can take this anywhere. And I'm thinking that because this cotton is so durable and it doesn't mind being thrown around, and I have 1,000 of these little size 3mm hooks. That was an order from Wish. There were supposed to be 8 crochet hooks of different sizes, but nope, they sent me 8 crochet hooks 3mm sizes. But you know, it's Wish. So I might keep this in the car as a handy little unexpected wait time. And so I've got a project in the car because they don't take long to do, and they're really good for gifts. And 1 into the small space, 2 into the big space, 1 into the small space, nearly there, 2 into the big space, 1 into the small space, 2 into the big space. Okay, now we're at the bottom. Our edges are nice and tidy, our top is nice and straight. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to single crochet into these 3 tops of these 3 stitches. We're going to do 2, no we're not, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 2 chain to give it that nice point, and then 1 single crochet back into that space. Then we're going to single crochet into the top of these 3 stitches, and then we're going to slip stitch back in here. Okay, so we've done our 2 into there. We're going to go into the top of our first double crochet here. So capture your 2 V's, yarn through, yarn over, pull through. So that's 1, 2 and 3. We're going to do 1 single crochet, chain 2. I like the chain 2 because it gives us a really nice point. And oh, I nearly did a double. 1 single crochet into here, and then we're going to do single crochet into the top of those 3 stitches. 1, a bit of fluff on my yarn, 2 and 3. So now we've just got to join. All of our edges has a nice border to it, and we're going to slip stitch. So don't go into the don't go into this one here, don't go into the chain, but we're going to have to go into the top of that single crochet. Yeah, if I can get a hold of it. There we go. And we're going to slip stitch into that. Do a chain and pull it through. Give it a snip and pull it tight. So there is your bookmark. Okay, so I'm going to weave my ends in. I'll be back with you in a second and we'll make the tassel and we will put it into here. Alright, so I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so here's our bookmark. It is all nice and tidy. All the edges are done, the ends are woven in, and I'm going to put a tassel on it. Now, I am not good at tassels, and I'm going to be honest. I tried twice, and it didn't work. So, what we're going to do is, I have some mini tassels. These have come from Kmart, and we're going to put a lovely little white tassel onto the end of our bookmark. Today has been one of those days. I'm just not gonna fight it. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. We're going to put that little tassel on there and we'll pop it into our book. So, of course, I picked one that's got a spare string sticking out of it. Okay, so with my jeweler's pliers, I'm going to, never ever, if you're using jump rings, never ever open them straight out. You'll never get them back in the right way. Always twist from one side to the other. So give it a twist. Going to find my chain 2 space. There it is in there. And twist it back. That way your jump ring will always close nice and neatly. And there is our little tassel. Okay, so let's pop it in our book, see what it looks like. So it's just going to sit in like that with the tassel hanging out the top. And there's your bookmark. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'm hoping that maybe you can find a tassel tutorial, because obviously it didn't work for me. And that you make lots of these. These, like I said, these are really good little gifts, along with a book. That can be for an adult or a child. You can make them as long or as short as you wanted to. If you wanted to make this longer and square off the edges, you could turn this into a headband. There's lots of things that you could do with this split shell pattern. So yeah, leave me a comment down below. Tell me if you've made any. Please let me know if this setup has worked better with the lighting and the angle of the camera. Let me know if you make some. Let me know if you can make a tassel. Can you help me? Alright, thanks everyone for joining me today. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and it costs nothing. And also hit that notification bell so every time I put a new YouTube video up that you are notified. Again, thanks very much for joining me, and I hope you make lots and lots of these. I'll see you next time. Bye! Thanks again for watching. Click the like button if you like what you've seen today, and leave a comment below. Have I inspired you to have a go at your own project? Remember to click on the subscribe icon and also the notification bell so you'll know when I post my next video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!